And I would like to invite now Janja, Kreitmayer McKenzie, who is engaged in the process of circular transition on the public side, to say so. As Barna mentioned before, it is important that we have the people from public sector also aware and engaged. So Janja is definitely one of those front runners, and we are inviting her now to introduce the perspective of the Ministry of Environment on the deep demonstration project.
Hello,
Please.
thank you Ladea for this introduction, and hello to everyone. It's really my pleasure to be here already at the 5th Circular Change Conference, and we're really happy to have such a good partner on the other side of public service that we can work together throughout these years. So let me share with you a little bit of Slovenia's activities in transition to circular economy. Slovenia as a country started this transition already some years ago, most notably with the governmental decision in 2015. And after that, our approach was really to go on the ground, to go to the regions, to go to the cities, and to talk with all the stakeholders about this transition, to gain knowledge from them, as well as to promote the notion of circular economy, which in 2015 was not yet as far as it is today. This is a very fast developing concept. So in all these activities, we gained over 2,000 different stakeholders, companies, institutions, also cities were very interested in this, to kind of work on the ideas, where are the potentials and priorities for Slovenia to start this transition. Throughout these activities, and with the help also of good collaboration with Circular Change, we created or drew up together a roadmap which was launched in 2018, and that set kind of a tone and a way and some suggestions, ideas where to approach circular economy. In this time, we also managed to include circular economy in basically all strategic documents. Slovene development strategy, smart specialization has one separate partnership for circular economy, and some other strategies as well. We are trying to use circular economy as a tool to achieve other climate as well as business competitiveness goals in Slovenia. So we were then at the point that we wanted to make, we were in the point that usually make then the action plan. So what's the action plan to implement all these ideas and suggestions and innovation? So this idea with the deep demonstration and partnership with European institutions, with the climate kick at the forefront, was actually perfect moment for us. We came together in this partnership to use this to have a really comprehensive plan how to make this systemic transition that is so easy to say, but it's really a set of activities, set of, I will say, tools that you have to set up to make this going, as already Cleona really nicely explained how systemically this has to be tackled in different areas. So for us, the decision to implement or to do this instead of the classical action plan was twofold. One was this systemic change and the permanent change, permanent system change, and the other one was to actually harvest more knowledge, to bring knowledge of course, to public service first, but not only to public service, but to all the areas and all the stakeholders in Slovenia. And therefore, let me just take you a little bit into the project from our point of view. Cleona already mentioned these pillars, but I would like to tell you how we see this with the concrete projects and why this is important for us, that we set up a plan, that we know how we will address this change. So this is a community, circular communities that will give support to regions and cities. It will introduce circular economies to schools and create other knowledge with other stakeholders. And then one pillar that will offer support for companies, firstly to small and medium-sized enterprises, but also for startups. We have a special program. And then we have also a program to learn how to monitor and the success and monitor the transition to circular economy on business side. And then we have the third pillar, really important for the government, which is policy making. So here is one important part is public procurement, as we heard today. But what we hope to gain a lot is really the program on Transition Policy Lab, because this is where all this knowledge from all these activities will be harvested, bring together and transferred hopefully in better policy proposals and ensure that nothing is lost. And of course, the higher education is also important, and here comes this addressing these kind of programs. We're not starting from zero. Slovenia did a lot in these areas already, but now with this, we're gonna pull all this together, and very importantly, these three horizontal programs that will connect all this, the Center for Circular Economy, which I will say something about later, and then Transformation Capital program, which is key for us to find gaps. Why are we not connecting resources a little bit more and create these synergies and capitalize on public money, private money, and also European, okay, that's also public money, but European sources. So we will have all sets of activities and programs that we will practice connecting this funding through on a concrete basis. And then, of course, the pilot projects, which will be done through 5 different value chains. These value chains were identified as a priorities for Slovenia for many different reasons. If I go quickly just through all of them, forestry, Slovenia has 60% of forest coverage, a lot of knowledge from traditionally how to deal with wood and also how to manage forests, but we need to connect the value chains and to improve the industry on processing wood and also other design from wood in this area. And of course, forest is very important for the carbon capture, and we want to connect all the activities in this value chain. Then is the built environment. This is also another sector where Slovenia has a lot of experience and also innovation, especially in the building solutions, but we need to systemically connect the whole chain, also from the product, from the design, to energy savings, and at the end also to waste from built material. Mobility is an obvious choice. Sustainable mobility with all the smart solutions for cities and regions, but also to overcome the gaps in public transport, especially train and so on, to kind of improve the use of public transport and the shared solutions. Manufacturing is focusing on changing the materials, substituting the materials, finding new innovation, connecting that, and of course eco-design as well. And the food system, trying to find a production with lower carbon footprint, create food value chains and prevent food waste. This is just really roughly, if you can imagine, any of these value chains has a lot of topics to deal with, and there's no way I can present all of this today. But I wanted to say that these value change and pilot projects are very important for us because they make this transition tangible, and they make the cooperation as well as vertical through value chains, but also horizontal throughout all the sectors and topics that are involved. So we are hoping to increase also the cooperation between governmental sectors in Slovenia as well as businesses and others. And most importantly maybe is cooperation. I saw that Cleona showed already the same slide that just shows how important this is. Of course, right now for us is key that we bring all the governmental sectors on the same page, that we create the common ownership. And this project is important because we already did this and we have it and we don't have it, but we want a permanent system that will enable us to transfer this connection through tangible and concrete actions and keep it going, regardless of who's where and who decides on what. And here, this again, I would like to underline this partnership with with Climate Kick, Raw Material Kick, JRC, and EIT are really, really crucial because they're bringing additional know-how and most valuable knowledge. And for us to work hand in hand and to do this together, it makes it much easier and hopefully also more better implemented. I wanted to go back to the Center for Smart and Circular Transition just because it's one very important part. This is basically a fuel for this engine. And the idea of circular economy hub, actually not so much center at that time, was already there before, but we kind of needed some kind of leverage and understanding that we need an establishment that will help us create or keep going, as well as working with the stakeholders internationally, and now most importantly to coordinate and how should I say, keep this project going and keep all the topics connected. So for us, it's important that this center will also mean a bridge between government and stakeholders. Which is key now that we come in the implementation phase. We will start working with stakeholders because we cannot do any of these activities on our own. We have to do it with the stakeholders. So this is going to become a key part of this action, is to how to work together, how to organize stakeholders, how to organize projects. And this is a lot of interaction, and we definitely need a really firm structure for that. I would like to just conclude with the fact that circular economy and green recovery is also one of our priorities of our ministry for the presidency. And as we heard before, I think Freek was talking about taking the harvest the opportunity. This is exactly what we are trying to do, and we hope our projects will really enter in the implementation phase this autumn, that we can already harvest some ideas and some results to use them to further the transition and to further the notion and know-how of how to do this systemically, hopefully. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Janja. It was very valuable because we have heard what Slovenia is planning for the future. And if we compare it now with the story we have heard from Zero Waste Scotland and from the Holland Circular Hotspot, all of you emphasized how important it is to have a long-term vision, but at the same time to have a concrete plan what to do here and now. So 21 is approaching, and you mentioned at the very end that this is something what is in the core of attention also and activities for your ministry and also for the Slovenian government. So if we now project ourselves into 2021, what shall we dream of or aim for to be accomplished until then regarding the deep demonstration project?
Well, as our plan is foreseen, and we hope we stick with it, the deep demonstration project goes for the approval of the government within next month. And then we will immediately start with the implementation. And the first part of the implementation would be setting up the center and getting the activities going, because we need this to connect all the projects and to get them going in coordinated way, but also to be able to do all these activities that we were talking about in cooperation with other countries, with all the stakeholders. And yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
Okay, so if not earlier, let's make a wish for a Santa Claus to bring us the center to Slovenia and to start operating on that base.
I have the same wish.
Yeah. So